Okay, to explain this coincidental, it all came from the goddess constant, 36. So, me doing my franchise, 36 Archives, which is from the insiders trading, right? All from, you know, one day I was watching the Young Turks video, and I saw this about insider trading, because I was researching it, and I saw the graph, and I counted it. I counted 35 people, but then if you count the SPY at the bottom also, it's a aggregate of the stocks. A look at a snapshot of the stocks collectively. That's 36. So okay, wow, because I was thinking, does it will it match the goddess constant? And it did. Well, it did nearly, and then I said, if I include that, that's 36. So from all that, I'm doing, this, I'm drawing it from utilizing these 36 insiders. And I did another graph, looked at another graph, combined it all. So it's about 36. Combined, it's about 44. And the actual grouping that I'm using is like about 30 or something, when the AI sorted it and stuff. But there's still like at least 36, but it came from that 36 from that graph. So all that I'm on season like 3 or 4, because I don't know which one it is yet, of which season, because I have to end it. We're going to end it on it, because I got about a few episodes of season 3 done, at least I think 3 or 2. So that while working on that, I was looking up. That led me to well, the 36 thing came up again with what was it? It was Trump. That's right. One day a couple of days ago, I was using my phone and I saw, Trump 36 additional countries he's adding on to be banned. I couldn't believe it. I said 36. That's another coincidental, goddess constant. So I looked up 36 Trump, and it came with a whole bunch of stuff. And then about like the next day, or next like within 24 hours, I looked up, after waking up, I looked up again Trump 36, this time on the computer, and it led me to trying to think, how did it led me to Trump 36 of the items in, paraphrasing here, 36 items of the things in the Project 25 Trump has done. That's quoted by Sunny Hosting of The View. I'm trying to remember how I got to that one. I think it was because when I first searched it, I don't remember coming upon that. I think it was a couple of days afterwards when I did another search for it again, because I think I deleted. I'm trying to think what happened exactly. I think I accidentally deleted some of the, because I was documenting all of those websites or those videos that had it on YouTube. So I put it in multiple playlists, but on one of them I was deleting it. I was deleting it out because I didn't think it belonged in there. But then thankfully I got it on the other ones. But anyway, I did a new sort, and I think that's how I saw it. I think that's right. Or yeah, it must have been, because if I knew that there was a 36 Project 2025, I think that's how I did it. Yeah, it must have, because why would I search for Trump again 36. Yeah, so that must have been what happened. And I came upon, so prophecy, right? The project, not prophecy, project 2025. I'm looking that up, and it led me to this, well, eventually led me to FreedomWorks. But how did I get to FreedomWorks was, I'll show you how I got to FreedomWorks. This is my project. Here it is. It led me to this. I think I did Trump. The search term I actually used was project. I must have used project. Yeah. Okay, so I went from here. Okay. And then I think I clicked on here. Okay. I don't remember exactly how I got to the. And then I clicked on here. How did I actually get to it? I don't know how exactly I got to it. I must have put in Trump. That must be it. Trump. I don't know exactly how I got to it. Okay, but somehow eventually it led me to this list. Okay. And then from here, you can look through the wiki. But anyway, so I'm doing the story, because after, spoilers, after doing the utilizing the inside traders, now I have a new batch of Suicide Squad people to use. So I start with the very last ones, Laura Zerk, FreedomWorks. And then looking at FreedomWorks, it mentions about, who funds them. And one of them was the Philip Morris, which is tobacco in Virginia. And then, AT&T. And since my main themes is the EMF causing the overpop. That's a big thing. That's like the main umbrella theme for all of this. I mean, that's like, if that's the main theme, then what is the goddess constant is what? I mean, you could say the goddess constant is the main theme, but that's not really a theme. That's the guiding, like the guiding angel, the guiding post. So this part right here. So I know the headquarters is in Texas. I had it list out the AI, get the history of Texas. So you're gonna see it right here. I did say, regardless of the coincidence, I need to get to mom and dad, but this is so incredible. This is really incredible. Here it is. See, there it is, the Wi-Fi Texas. Okay. See exactly what happened. Trying to see where it. So it was about the Democrats. I didn't realize that. I had forgotten that Texas was mostly Democrat. Let's see, where is it? Where are you? There we go. Hold on a second. Okay, here we go. Here it is. Deep South. This is the, here it is. Okay, so it was me looking up Virginia, which was the, where that Philip Morris is from, drawn from tobacco, because I was see on the television, Philip Morris sponsored something. So it's from the tobacco thing. Okay, there we go, not from the AT&T thing. So when I saw this line here, part of Deep South, that's when I started to look up Texas. Yeah, this is, see, here we go. And there we go. So, then I started to ask, when did the ideology flip? So, from all that, so from the tobacco thing, Philip Morris, and then talk about flipping, and then I started to, let's see, when I started asking about the percentages, let's see where it is. Okay, so started to ask if so now I'm trying to get to, I've been thinking about this past like 2 days or something, where I'm gonna go. So I thought, the territories for the story. So here I'm wondering, since I'm talking about Democratic Republic, are these places Democratic Republic? So it said neither. Um, 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 so then all of a sudden I gotta think when the connection is. Then all of a sudden I started to ask this. So why did I start thinking about that? Okay, so I gotta see what the connection was. Why I started to. Um, um, Influence force convert. Okay, so see, I know I got the thing. Okay, so democratic means power. Whoever's in power, right? So whoever's in power, they flip. Republicans. So the flipping territories about. You see, why would I think about? I think I started to think about how racist the government is now. I think with all this, I started thinking, that's what brought me to the flipping. When it said, the Deep South conservatives, and I thought, okay, Texas, it said that Texas used to flip. That Texas flip. So somehow that led me to this, thinking about, they're scared. So I thought one of the percentages, because I remembered that when they first arrived here, the people, they must have been outnumbered. So somehow the jump from here to there, I don't know, I forget exactly how I did that, but something about the race thing. I started thinking. I think that might have been it. Thinking about how racist because that's what I was thinking. The Republican and the Democrat, the flipping, how racist they're also scared of Trumpism. That must have been. I forget the exact jump of how that got to there. But whatever the jump was, I started to do this, research about how much the percentage is. So long story short, here's about only a century the whites have been in the most power. So from that, it led to coincidal with all the Superman, the Jurassic Park, that one vid. I'm gonna show you. It led to where are you, buddy? this guy, you know, all this thing about, watching all the James Gunn stuff, the new stuff, the new trailer, the new clip with the spoilers. Well, I won't spoil it for you, but it reminded me, seeing all them, started reminding all the Superman, other stuff, CW and all that. I remember the story with Lisa, my teacher, and about Peter Jennings. Some kind of realization. I thought, I was thinking Peter Jennings because it was on my website thing. I used Peter Jennings. But I realized in retrospect that actually she might not have mentioned Peter Jennings. She mentioned the reporter. I think she meant my sister played the narration, spoiler. So I mentioned Peter Jennings. And then as I'm watching it, so I'm vlogging, so I'm recording all this, right? So I mentioned that Peter Jennings, it's a long vlog. And then so I'm talking about other stuff. And then this guy, he's talking about, it seems he doesn't like DEI, right? So I leave this comment, and I modified it with an update afterwards, but about the coincidental, but I was telling him about a century, and then I was pondering if I could use century as a duration, which you can. But while I was doing the search for century, it came up to be, it mentioned Peter Jennings. Watch, look at that, watch. It mentioned the word century. Now you might think that the AI, unless it's in real time picking it up, but even if it was the coincidental of, it's like looking up, like it mentioned, imagine I mentioned Lucille Ball, right? And then I look up this word, like the word, I don't know, like the word in, like the word red. You wouldn't expect it to, what you talked about, Lucille Ball and red, to come up when you do a search for red, right? So you do a search for red, but it comes up to Lucille Ball. Also, you might think, okay, Lucille Ball had something. I mean, red is a big thing, but century is like more specific, right? Still, century word is more specific, but still, red is a color, specific color. So watch, I wrote century, and look what you have. You have the Century documentary, Peter Jennings. Here it was. So when I do that, I saw it on the bottom. Exactly. So it wasn't like on here, on the top here. It was me scrolling down, and then it mentions it on the very left. If I hadn't looked at the very bottom here, I would have missed it. Now let's see what happened if I click. See, now it doesn't mention Peter Jennings. I didn't do this before, but let's see how many I have to get to Peter Jennings. Let's do number 5. Number 4. And it's real convoluted. As you can see, it's really convoluted the way I got to it. I mean, you have to notice it and be even aware. So it's almost like God is speaking to me. So it's only on the first search and on the very bottom. See, when you go back to see, notice, now I understand when people are summoned in court and stuff for their memory. But even me, within less than a few hours, I can't remember exactly how I got to what point and one point. Anyway, so it's here, right? I click here, and Whammo. It's all over here. 1984. That's interesting. 1986 is one of the main dates. My thing, 65. And I haven't even clicked on one of the videos to watch that. I don't really have to, I don't think, but anyway, so the main point of this, I've forgotten that that jump from that one jump you saw from how I all of a sudden I start to ask about the percentage of indigenous. So I don't know, that jump though is really important. So unless I remember like maybe within 24 hours, maybe if I remember tomorrow, I'll put it down. But somehow you saw there was a jump somewhere from there to there. There's some kind of thought process going in my head to get to that point. But before I even realized that point, I thought it was something more, more clear, the jump that I would see, but I don't remember. But before going into all this, the whole thing, this came from the Goddess Constant 36. The whole thing getting to here. And, yeah, but what does Goddess Constant have to do with the Superman movie and stuff? Well, while I'm processing the pictures, because I'm having to process pictures, right? Okay, for the thing, for the series, I'm watching these vids in the meantime, which have nothing to do with theirs. Although the movies, Gunn is closely tied with me network-wise, really close. I mean, Hollywood is like, especially Gunn, I mean, like super network, 6 degrees. I'm not gonna mention it here. You can see in the other vids. But it's like super duper tight, like we're family. Like I'm literally like 1 degree from him. All the Office Space and the MCU thing and all, the community we're in and stuff. So yeah, there's a tie with this, big time. And with the Jurassic Park thing too. Johan with SpongeBob, Office Space again. MCU is also in this Jurassic Park, spoilers for it. And MCU, same thing with CMW, with the Office Space, Duffy, that's the thing. He's the main connection with all this. Or Divergent, main connection with all this, yeah. He was in Buffy. Buffy has a lot of the actors, if I remember, actors in CW for the Tom Holland Superman thing. And of course, spoilers, Lex Luthor's dad is in Shazam. Shazam smacked up against Ka's dad. Ka's me. Well, Red Mist is me. So anyway, 6 degree wide is big time. But that has nothing to do with 36 though. The 36 concept has nothing to do with this, except for the fact that I'm watching these vids as I'm processing pictures for it. But still, it brought me to the thing for me to search the connection with, how do I say it, the century thing, the century word came from me researching the 36, right? I mean, researching for my 36 series. And then I'm watching this because while I'm processing the pictures for that series, I'm watching all this. So there's two connections, the century word from the 36, and then processing time, watching these for that. So 2 connections with the 36 there. That would be the indirect connections, okay? But no direct connections. So, but still, this is all coming from 36. Still, okay. But because of that one jump from the, from the Democrat Republican thing jumping to the indigenous, I don't know what that connection was there. But whatever that connection was, regardless of that, it's still, even if, regardless, they're still indirectly with the 36, because the century thing here, looking up from the series, would that be indirect or direct? I'm trying to think. Okay, so it's me looking up century, that's direct, right? Me waiting for the thing, watching this. Okay, no, it would be indirect, because a direct would have to tie in with something. Well, I mean, it would tie in with what he's saying, because he's saying he doesn't like, paraphrasing here, he doesn't like DEI, it seems, from what I'm getting at. So with DEI, I'm thinking race, right? Race, and talk about, well, what's DEI's diversity? So you think, okay, whites, how long have whites been in power? So, okay, there's kind of a direct tie with it, okay, I guess, with the century thing. So that's not really indirect. Let me think, would it be indirect or direct? I mean, direct would be if he mentioned it, but he kind of mentions it. It's kind of like, it's part of this situation with it, right? Because he mentions DEI, diversity. So that, I mean, but I'm talking about direct tie with 36, the number itself. So this is kind of like a, so see, me watching the pictures, me watching this while I wait for the pictures, that's indirect. That's not a direct. This me waiting has me waiting on this. In other words, this thing itself doesn't have anything to do with the number 36, correct? So it'd be indirect. Okay, but this century thing, since it's tied to my series, and then he mentioned, so I have to think, what is the tie between DEI and the century? It would be diversity. You're talking about number of people and stuff. You're talking about people. So okay, so you can interpret that as either direct or indirect, or maybe semi-direct. Okay, so I'm gonna go with either it's a direct or a semi-direct. Okay, so there's actually a kind of a direct tie then, if that's the thing. But regardless whether direct or indirect, there's still a tie here. So it's either a direct or semi-direct, but there is at least a definite indirect tie to it. Okay. So all that led to that. So now we know the cause and effect. Yeah, this is mind blowing. This is like Kachunga. And it's the fact that I noticed it, but also that's, oh my gosh. So, okay. Holy Smokey Bear, yeah.